board. Get ready to explore.
Good.
There's so much to find.
I was hoping I would get some of this song, but she was taking a long time to start recording, and I was like, come on, computer.
I can see
Come
the
on,
anxiety on
computer.
your face.
I was like,
Fortunately for you,
it's
I
giving
have
me
to
the
finish
rainbow wheel.
everything.
Good. I like that.
I haven't had a rainbow wheel in forever. I don't think I've been on a Mac for...
Well, I get a rainbow
I
wheel
don't know.
all the time because this Mac laptop has like 2 gigs of memory, so
What?
it's always full and always slow.
I love it.
So guess what? This is our first Attack on Titan episode.
Something Yeager.
In my notes, I write, why does this series always have like a bomb intro? It is always, their intro songs are always amazing.
I do think that the intro song for season 1, like the OG intro song, is one of the best Attack on Titan, like one of the best intro songs in all anime. And for everyone who was probably thinking that I was about to just like go like drop a fat deuce on this series, I do like this series. I just didn't want to watch it right now. So everyone shut up before
I'm kind of excited to watch it right now because I'm watching the last season, and the last season's also, I've been having to like switch my brain because the last season isn't available in dub, so I've been watching it in sub. But I started this show in dub, so now I'm going back to dub when I've gotten used to a lot of the sub voices, but now we're in early dub voices, which are very different than the later dub voices, and I'm like,
I'm really enjoying the sub. After watching all of Full Metal in sub, I think I actually kind of prefer sub. I do think there's tons of excellent dub out there, but I don't know, the subtitle for Attack on Titan freaking slaps.
Eren Yeager.
And everyone in this show is somebody, which is crazy. Except for like one guy who mostly does porn and also plays my favorite character in Haiku, which is very sad.
Oh.
Yeah, I found that out. So earlier this week I had a bit of a mental breakdown. Story time. I am pseudo promoted at my job again, and I know, wah, cry, but no, like I'm in training that I am in charge of, while I'm also training someone to be me in my other job that I am also still in the head position for, and I will continue to do even when I'm doing the new job. So I've been really stressed out. I'm having a hard time. And I had a bit of an emotional breakdown because I realized when I got home, not yesterday, day before yesterday, I got home and I immediately had to go to sleep because I had to wake up at like 5 the next morning. And I was like, but I haven't watched Attack on Titan yet. And then my husband so kindly helped me look up all of the voice actors because there's 10,000 of them.
The beginning of the show has so many characters.
So many. And I
don't get too attached, everybody.
I did not bother to get the voices of a lot of the characters. If they stay alive and relevant later, I will do it. But I did all the mains and all the people I know last until at least season 3.
This is one of those shows that you quickly learn, like, okay,
don't love anyone.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Love anyone.
I mean, you get a hint of that in these first few episodes. Really, the first episode, you get a hint of that. But, like, you don't even know yet. Like, season 1, 2, like, really just don't. I mean, you're gonna love people, and you're gonna be heartbroken, and you're gonna watch some bloody stuff. Like, literally, how they promote this, like, back in the day, Japan's equivalent of The Walking Dead. So, like in The Walking Dead, don't get attached to anybody. Although, Rick is still alive, apparently.
What? I thought
he's supposed to have died, remember? And then they were like, he's getting a spin-off movie. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Y'all hyped so much that Rick was dying, and now it's just a spin-off, and I'm not I'm not doing this.
So as far as I know, Rick left the group, but that makes me confused because
He's
doesn't
apparently
Michonne, like,
back.
have his baby?
Yes, no, they don't get pregnant, but
No,
they're
but
together.
she, like, takes care
But
of
she
his
takes
baby.
care. Yeah.
So does the baby go with him?
No.
This is my question.
So this bridge blows up because they're trying to stop this herd of walkers, and Rick's like, do it, and he's still on the bridge, and he gets, like, washed away. They can't find him. They assume he's dead, and then you find him, and he's, like, bloodied, and you're like, oh, he's gonna die. And then this helicopter comes out of nowhere and picks him up, and you're like, I don't understand.
Flying a helicopter
in the zombie apocalypse. And then that's when they reveal that Rick doesn't die, and he's getting, like, this spin-off show. And I stopped watching after that episode because I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And I need to finish it because I think the show's gonna end soon. And I mean, I don't think that comic series still has a bunch, I think, left, but it's deviated so much from the comics that I'm like,
it's so different. Like, I think in the third volume, Rick loses his arm and is armless for, like, the entire series.
Does he?
And then
I thought that was somebody else.
No, he loses an arm. The writer immediately regretted it because it's really hard to write a strong character with one arm in the zombie apocalypse. But yeah, everything. I used to have some of those comics. No, I didn't. I read Shane's because we lived together, and Shane had, like, all of them, and I did not enjoy them.
I read a few of them, and I want to read more of them, and I just, like, revamped my library card, so I'm going to check them out. Ayo, support your local library. It was the
saddest, most horrible neighbors in the universe.
It's so aggressive. Your dog sounds like they're
up and down the stairs,
eating people.
But they're really not. They're just standing next to the door and crying.
It's just insane. Without seeing it.
Why don't you stop? Thanks.
But yeah, so Attack on Titan, don't get attached to people. My life news, I dyed my hair yesterday.
What? It looks exactly the same.
What? It better not with the money I spent. But
I see the pink streak in the blue now. It took me until right now to see it, but I see it now.
It'll never be perfectly parted ever since I left the salon. So if you're just listening, I have pink and blue hair, half dye now, so split dye, not half dye.
It's cute.
Thanks. I like it.
I'm just a hobo in 3 blankets because I'm cold.
But you are wearing a scout blanket, so it's themed.
I am, but I won't be showing you the back of it to prove it because I'm too lazy to get up. I've also been up since 3 this morning, so
yeah, Lauren's worked a lot. I've worked a lot. I did 10 hours of overtime for this past pay week, and then this weekend
make that money.
We've got events. Yeah, it's just woo! Sunday I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna sleep forever.
That sounds so nice.
I'm always sleepy, and I don't ever remember being this drowsy all the time, but I've also recently found out I'm low in iron because I used to donate blood all the time. But now the past 2 times I've gone to donate blood, I haven't had a high enough iron count to donate. So I don't know.
You need more steak.
But red meat doesn't give you the most. It's dark greens that give you the most. So I've been eating a bunch of spinach and kale, but I don't know what's going on. Like, did I just suddenly become anemic or what? So I've got to go to the doctor. But I don't really want to go to the doctor. But it was like overnight. Like, I donated blood in the summer. No, in September. And now I try to donate blood in December and I can't. And then I tried to donate blood like 2 weeks ago and I can't. And I'm like, oh.
The audacity of this concert. The When We Were Young concert alert.
Oh no.
It's like, we added a 3rd show.
A 3rd day?
Yeah. But they're not. It's not going to work out.
When they added a second day, I was like, yeah, because how are they gonna play all on one day with like 3 stages?
Some of the bands didn't even know they were going to that. That should tell you everything you need to know about this concert.
What's it? All American Rejects didn't even know. Like, that's a big name band to not know they were playing at that. And so it's the same people that put on Astro World. So I'm like, not a great, not a great rep right there, especially for us Texans.
They want me to buy their tickets so badly, but I will not because I am poor.
They're expensive too.
They are expensive.
They're trying to be
I
like
need to pay my Hootie bill.
The new Warped Tour, but really pricey.
They should have just done another Warped Tour.
Right?
I went to the last Warped Tour. It was super fun. I saw Yellowcard and cried. It was great. We had a good time.
Warped Tour, you're not expecting it to look fancy. You're expecting like a 10-mile hike to like 5 trillion stages, but it's $40 out in a parking lot somewhere, and you know what you're getting because it's a punk show, and it's great.
Yeah, and it's a good time, and you're always too hot, and everyone's in shorts, and their legs are sticking together, and we can't sit on the ground because it hurts.
Yep, because you're in a parking lot somewhere.
And that's life. Yeah, and it's great.
And it's Warped Tour. So punk. Great. Emo
Warped
kid.
Tour.
And now they're trying to make, like, bougie Warped Tour, and I'm like, that's not it. It's very not punk rock of you. Okay, so maybe we should talk about Attack on Titan.
Would you like to have my Funimation summary?
Do it to it.
Get it. Attack on Titan isn't on Netflix. Surprise. It is on Hulu, though.
It is on Netflix.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Well, I didn't watch it on Netflix. Oops. I watched it on Funimation this time. So you got a Funimation summary.
Woo.
Let's go. So episode 1, To You in 2,000 Years, the Fall of
Shiganshina.
Thank you for saying that for me. Part 1! Funimation summary. I said that so wrong. Before we started recording, I didn't even
realize when we rolled the last episode what word you were trying to say, and I was like, I don't know.
I couldn't figure it out.
Until I was editing, and I was like, she was trying to say Shiganshina, the city. No, I didn't even like register it.
Listen, children, y'all have heard me butcher so many Japanese names at this point. Do y'all expect anything else from me? I couldn't even say Xerxes correctly for the longest time.
What did you keep saying? I don't remember what you kept saying for Xerxes.
Like, Xerxes or it was weird. I don't know. I don't want to listen because I cringe. But anyway.
So it's Shiganshina. Okay.
Shiganshina. Part 1. Funimation summary. After 100 years of peace, humanity is suddenly reminded of the terror of being at the Titan's mercy. That's it. That is the whole summary.
I think that's literally like the first line, like intro line.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, it's not. Just kidding.
Oh.
Maybe I just read it. Anyway, I'm doing more on my end this time because I, for once, have like a foot up in this series. I'm reading the manga while we're doing this. I tried to catch up for Full Metal and could never catch up because they have long chapters. They're really, really good though. But I have the first 10 volumes of Attack on Titan, so that's half of the series. And what we cover is in volume 1.
I'm in charge of summaries that were already written, voice actors, and fun facts. Spoiler alert, this isn't a very fun show, so there's not a lot of fun facts.
Lord, I'm going to need you to step it up in later episodes where we're really down in the dumps, and I'm like, please throw us a fun fact. Okay. Throw us a bone somewhere, whether it's like, did you know this about this actor? Like, we're going to need something.
I'll do my best.
Because
my question now is, do you want me to read the thousands of voice actors right now? Or do you want me to wait until after the summary?
I say let's do it after the summary so we can know who some of the characters are and then piece it together in our head.
Then have at it. Sweet cheeks. Go for
Yeet!
it.
Here we go. Episode 1. So my first bullet point is this show loves birds. Now, if you've seen anything about Attack on Titan recently, there's a lovely bird meme that is wearing Eren Yeager's hair. It's a seagull. You'll see birds a lot in this show.
Maybe that's why I hate this show, because I hate burbs and it burbs.
Burbs?
What is that?
You hate burbs?
Birds.
Mike Birbiglia? That's so rude. He's a great man.
God, I don't know. I've been up for over 12 hours.
She eats birds, everyone.
I hate birds. And if you haven't listened to the My Hero movie recap, please do. I tell you exactly why I hate birds.
Lauren, picked a fight with, the head bird mafia family.
I didn't pick a fight. That bird fought me. That bird attacked me personally.
Somehow.
And I was just fighting for my life. I just wanted
said something
nuggets.
to insult the bird mafia family, the head one, the bird godfather.
It put a hit on me.
And it put a hit on Lauren.
Bad.
And she has every right to fear birds now.
I hate birds.
After that story, you have every right. So yeah, go back and listen to our My Hero World Heroes Mission episode to hear what is worth listening to us talk about My Hero, even if you hate it. It is worth listening to it just to hear Lord's bird story, because it's bonkers. Okay.
I hate birds.
So I say this opening reminds me of Lost. Any Lost fans out there? Because, you have Jack laying there, and then his eyes open, and then you see a dog, but then you see a bird, but it's a real close-up eye shot, and I was like, oh, this is like how Lost goes. Our timeline also gets really losty later in the show if we cover other seasons, so, R.I.P. Lost fans.
What if we never roll another Attack on Titan, ever?
I will make us do it, because I eventually am gonna need us to cover it, because I get confused on Attack on Titan lore still. As we could tell, we just like Lauren, your chair is rubbing. It's the most annoying noise in the world. It sounds like a bowling alley, just balls rolling back and forth. I'm gonna need you to cut it out. I'm gonna need you to cut it out. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Here we go. So, in the opening, we see Eren. It's my background, if you're watching. Eren taking a nappy nap under a tree, and Mikasa being a real creep and watching him sleep. Story of her life.
So, for the longest time, I thought her name was Mika. And, it was San, that's the respect thing. So I was like, Mika-san. And I lied to myself. Her name is Mikasa. And I effed that up for so many years.
It's Mikasa because I keep saying Mikasa, because when I read it, that's what I kept saying. And so I keep saying Mikasa, and everybody's looking at me, and I was like, Mikasa. Mikasa.
I'm probably still gonna say Mikasa because I'm Texan and that's just what's happening. I'll do my best. I
Mikasa.
Can't even say birds, so
burbs.
Let's just.
So Eren's taking a nappy nap. He wakes up from this nightmare, but we see so right now we're gonna get what's happening, and then we're gonna get we're gonna go backwards in time and lead up to that point. So I wrote, can you imagine a giant hand popping up over your fence like that? I said I would just pass away right then and there. Nothing more for me to go on living. I'm not gonna make it. I'm just gonna choose right now to, if I could, just turn off my brain in life there, because there ain't no way I'm dealing with whatever is attached to this giant hand that just climbed over my fence. So basically,
I'd have to see it. I'd have
the
to
whole
see
thing.
It.
I would just be
I want to see its face.
Let's go.
I gotta see what's attached. You're gonna die anyway. What's you gonna do? I gotta see it.
If I could just power off, that's what I would do.
You can't though.
I don't know.
That's the thing.
I'm pretty stubborn. So I said,
I don't think you can just be okay, I'll die. I don't think that's a real thing.
Power off.
Okay.
So this is this opening scene is the iconic shot of the Titan that if you've never watched Attack on Titan, you've probably seen this on shirts, on people's Facebook profiles of like this naked looking muscular Titan. This
With
fine,
no butthole.
This fine fellow. Yes, Titans do not have reproductive systems. We'll go
I'm
over
really
that
bothered.
in a later series. But and just like peeking over this 50-meter high wall of concrete and just like peeking over and looking at people. And so they start out with the intros like, hey, this is how humanity turns into cattle and we all die. And I'm like, oh, what a great description. I love the scouts, and it's such an epic introduction to them and the tone of the show with them going through the forest and like killing titans. And then I used to not be a really big fan of this thick line animation, but it's grown on me now. When I first started watching this show, it was only my second anime to watch. So I wasn't a big fan, but now I like it a lot. Going back, I was like, oh, okay. And the 3D animation sequences, used to not enjoy those either, but I enjoy them now. Like, I think Full Metal made me enjoy it because anytime we saw Envy fight in the big old people pimple monster, it was 3D animation, and I was like, it does look pretty epic. And so I've slowly been more accustomed to that now. Because Attack on Titan gets a lot of those.
Probably has the most consistently good animation. Like, even in their non-action sequences, everything is very well done. Like, their quick sketches, like in a lot of animes, when you've got like a big ensemble cast and they do quick sketches of the background, you can zoom in on all of their derp faces and see how bad
it's my favorite to zoom in on Todoroki derp faces in My Hero, because it seems to only be him that gets the worst one.
He gets the worst of it, but
it's my favorite.
Attack on Titan doesn't do that. I mean, they don't always look amazing, but they always look like
they also do kind of like
fit, and it's fine.
They also do kind of like this, I address it later, this Frozen animation thing, like when you're watching old children's book stories and they just give you a panel of no animation, but it has voices and like noises moving. It's always weird to me, like a still frame. And Attack on Titan does that a lot in the first few seasons. It doesn't so much now, but in the first few seasons, it does.
They have more money now. They have lots more money now.
They have lots more money. Okay, so where'd I go? Oh, the nape of the neck on Titans always looks like a butt, and it makes me laugh, but it makes sense later. We'll get there later.
It's like it does look like.
There's gonna be a lot of things I say in this first few episodes that say, we'll get to that later, and it'll make sense later, because that's the whole summary of this show. You're kind of lost for like the first half of the season, and then all of a sudden they start telling you reveals, and then you're like hooked into it. But we get there pretty fast. So Attack on Titan always has some epic intro songs, which we addressed. I really love the new one, The Rumbling. I immediately bought that. Oh, you haven't heard it?
I haven't watched.
Oh, well, I bought it before it premiered because it's got screamo parts into it. And I really loved it because just knowing how the series ends also is kind of fun. But, I mean, it goes hardcore. Like, it would be a mosh pit song if you were to hear this at speaking of Warped Tour, if you were to hear this at Warped Tour, absolutely the crowd would just at parts of the song, and so it's really fun. But I also really love season 4 part 1 song too.
I liked that one. I just haven't heard part 2 yet.
The other one, da-na-na-na, Sasageo, Sasageo. I like that one a lot too. Is that 3?
Yeah, that's good.
3 or 2?
Yes, 3.
3? 3. I don't remember what 2's is. But
I remember 2.
Attack on Titan, they're really great at their songs. Their closing songs never really stick with me, but their opening intros, They pump
Spoiler
you
alert,
up.
I dislike the closing song for this.
I also
so
do.
much.
So you're good.
So much.
I like the graphics on this intro because I think it's a really good summary of season 1 and what you're about to get into, and it's pretty epic looking.
It's pretty much just like, hey, you like blood and pain? Here you go.
Like with the Walmaria just like just exploding in chains, and then you just dive into the intro. It's like, I'm into this. Bless you.
Sorry.
So my next bullet point. Sorry, Lauren. This is not directed at you, but shiganshina is such a fun word to say. I just kept saying it when I was watching it. I was like, shiganshina. It's a fun one.
I think it's because I'm watching in Japanese that I have a harder time with the pronunciations. Because I don't catch all their words because I'm just reading.
And also, the dub chooses some interesting ways to pronounce words compared to how they're spelled. Like, we'll meet a... Ew, your straw made the loudest
Yeah,
weird...
I don't know what the fuck that was. I chew on the end of all my straws.
Like, you'll meet a character named Reina, but it's spelled Reiner. But they always say Reina. And so that's always... And Berthold is pronounced kind of funny in the dub, but it's like, it's Berthold. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll get there. So Aaron's having this dream, and his dreams are like straight up horror movie vibes, and I have a theory on that, but I can't tell you that theory until we get to season 4, part 2. And Mikasa is just looming over him like a creeper, like I said. So we're back in the beginning of this part. So it's year 845. Titans are at the walls, and the walls keep them out and keep them away from the city and people, and there's these crazy priests that are obsessed with the walls and think they're a gift, and there are some people that like the walls, and there are some people that don't like the walls. There's some people that like people that go outside the walls, scouts, but majority of people don't like the scouts that go outside the walls because they think they're a waste of tax money. So that, there's a big play of politics in Attack on Titan, but it's a really cool way. Like, it's kind of like Renaissance politics, but it also echoes into some modern politics pretty hard, too. So we meet Mr. Hanus, who's always drunk. He is a part of the garrison sentry workers, and they're on shift. I remember hating him, and then by the end of this episode, I'm like, this poor man.
I love him. I instantly loved him, and I love him forever. The end.
Well, I'm glad you got to love him for, like, what, 6 episodes?
Yeah. I mean, technically, like, 3 seasons. Just 6 episodes in those 3 seasons.
Yeah. So, Mr. Hannes and them, they're always drunk, and they're guarding the gate. Nothing ever happens. Nothing's happened for, like, 100 years. Yet, because we just saw that intro of what we just saw, so we know that's probably going to come up soon. Aaron's always really quick to anger. A story of this entire show. Aaron, it's always Aaron no, and Aaron going, Aaron yes! That's Aaron Yeager.
And then Mikasa going, yeah, whatever Aaron does.
Whatever you say, Aaron, or I'm going to slap you.
No one touch Aaron.
Yeah. She gets real mad when Levi encroaches. So...
She should.
Aaron's quick to anger, and he's talking about how he's afraid, like, what are you gonna do if the Titans break through the wall and y'all are all drunk and y'all aren't worth nothing? And, I mean, it's just kind of like...
I liked his quote. I don't remember what it was.
He says, like, we'll be sitting ducks, and right when he says that, it pans to a fish in the market just getting cut in half, and it's super bloody, and I was like, well... I think they're prepping you. I think they're prepping you for the end of this episode.
Hannah says if a soldier's doing his job, then things have seriously gone to hell. And I was like, ooh, foreshadowing.
Yeah. Which is kind of not fair when you see the scouts in like 2 minutes. We'll get there. Okay, so Aaron's dad is Dr. Yeager. Grisha Yeager.
What?
And he... What? Grisha Yeager helps protect the city, and basically they all like Dr. Yeager because this plague wiped through the city and he saved as many people as he could. So they have a lot of respect for him. I highlight in blue on my notes things that we should keep in mind for the future. So this is something you should keep in mind for the future. Like, if you're listening, maybe write this down on like a sticky note or something. This is like an asterisk. Remember this for later. Mr. Hanus says the Titans have dead eyes and are mindless. So they're not bright beings. They just come in and they eat people. They don't eat other wildlife, and we don't know why. And we don't know how they get here.
And they don't poop because they have no portholes.
Yeah, they have no portholes. They got no reproductive organs. We don't know why they're here. We don't know how they get here. We don't know why they want to eat people. And asterisk that for a few seasons later. Not even a few seasons, a few episodes. Mr. Hannes does have a soft spot for Aaron because he's like, the boy has dreams. I think Mr. Hannes used to be like Aaron, and he just gets old with time and jaded, but he sees like the fresh, lively dreams in Aaron, and he doesn't want to take that away. Aaron wants to be a part of the scout regiment, and people don't think highly of them. And then we hear the bells, and the scouts are coming back in the walls. Aaron and Mikasa run over there to go look, and Aaron's happy to see the scouts, but then quickly that smile goes away when some of the scouts see him, because they are just like bloodied. They are bloodied. Their leader's ashamed looking. They come in very shell-shocked, and anyone that wasn't with them when they walk in is dead and eaten.
And we get our first glimpse of young Erwin, who is a babe always.
Irvin. That's
Irvin.
Always a weird one. See, they spell it Irwin. This is also another show that I think is kind of German-y. German-y, German-ish. I don't know why.
I'm telling you, sub versus dub, baby. This is gonna be horde.
This lady runs out of the crowd and is calling out for her son Moses, who went with them outside the walls, and they're like, give it to her, just let her know. And they give her this wrapped up bloody package. And
did you think this was messed up? Because I thought this was
absolutely it's messed up, but we see why in a second.
Tell her.
So
don't give her an R.
I think I wrote this down. So like she calls out, and they give her this like wrapped up package thing that's obviously bloody, and they don't say what it is. She opens it, and it's this freaking arm. It's her son's arm, and they say that's all that was left of him. And I literally wrote, the way they just give it to the lady and plop it in her arms is absolutely brutal. Like, no, you say like,
here,
this is all we have left of him. You don't give it to her. You say, this is all we have left of him. Let's, we're gonna have a burial for him. That makes more sense. Not like, where, here you go. And so then she starts screaming, like, did my son, like, but was he brave? Was his sacrifice mean nothing? Like, and so this is when we see their current scout leader, like, absolutely break and lose it. He goes, he was brave, but his sacrifice means nothing. All of our sacrifices, it's ever the same. It all means nothing. I sent all of them to their deaths, and there's nothing to show for it. All of it amounts to nothing. That's what you want to hear your leader say when half those people die. So that's why the scouts die a lot. They take down Titans. They try and get some area back outside of the wall. But people think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars because they think they're just safe inside the wall, and why should we bother going outside the wall? And then there's people like Aaron who think humanity's trapped in here like birds in a cage. Again, another bird reference. And that they deserve to be outside the walls, and that, that's why he likes the scouts. I go, sometimes the animation looks very Ghibli-ish, how they do people and animals. Reminds me a lot of how Studio Ghibli draws people and animals. I
don't think so.
The
animals.
There's just like the way the marketplace is, like, it reminded me of some of the people. But it doesn't remind me in later seasons, just these beginning seasons. So there's these guys smack talking the scouts, like I said, that it's a waste of taxpayer dollars, blah blah blah, they're all dead, blah blah blah. And Aaron smacks him because they're carrying like bundling of wood on their back for a fire, and he smacks him, and Mikasa just grabs him and drags him out, because story of the show, she's always getting Aaron out of danger for the most part, and slams him into a wall and tries to talk some sense into him. The this is when we get our little first mid-credit card that has info. They're really, really important for the show, but they don't translate it for the first season. I don't know why.
It's very frustrating.
Because in later seasons, if you don't read some of those, you will miss a key part that tells you info on the show. And, like, you'll never hear it addressed or know why. Like, the whole thing we know about Titans and not having reproductive organs, and they regurgitate the humans they've ate and, like, mush out in the woods. I only knew that from a title card that was translated online, but was not translated in the show.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had to ask Bridget because the butthole question's been bothering me for years.
The Bertholds. Yes. So in the manga volumes, they have those, like, broken down, but only for the later ones, because the manga in the first 4 episodes aren't exactly lined up. I was telling Lauren this, like, the whole, like, 3rd episode we watch is not in the manga. It's like a 2-page panel thing, and that's it. But so yeah, if you ever get a chance to translate those or find someone who translated them online, they are important. So this is kind of just talking about, like, what we know about, the Titans so far and their worlds, and, you know, that we'll learn more about Shinganshina. Okay, Mikasa rats out Eren when they get home about him thinking about joining the Scouts, and his mom loses it, and his dad's kind of calm and is like, it's a nightmare and it's ugly outside, but Eren's determined because he wants this nightmare to end, and his dad's like, meh, we'll find that out later. Why? And then the dad says, hey, if you behave while I'm gone, I'll show you what I'm working on down in my cellar, and holds up this key to the cellar. It's a very iconic key, very, very big thing. Remember that. It's very important. We want to dress
it in our logo.
It is in our logo. But we want to dress it probably till season 2, I think. We addressed it a little bit in this episode, but we won't know anything about it, I think, until season 2, right?
I think it's season 3.
Season
I don't
3.
think we addressed it for a while.
This is the moral of the show. You'll have to, like, do callbacks to things that are, like, way far back, and you're like, wait, what? It was great for me to binge it, but I can't imagine watching this live, because me watching these last 2 seasons live, I'm like, who's that character? What did they do?
That's why I fell out of it the first time. Just because
it's hard.
I got tired of watching week to week.
Yeah. So Eren's dad is going on a trip to a fair that's like 2 towns away, and he's gone, and he has the key with him. Mental note, he has the key with him. So Eren's mom makes Mikasa promise that she'll protect Eren from himself because he's a dumb boy who makes rash decisions, and she's like, Mikasa, you can see that, right? Okay, so protect him, please. Which is not a fair thing to put on her, but here we are.
No, it's not.
Really not. It is not. Mm-mm. And so now we're gonna meet Armin. Here's Armin. He's getting beat up in the alley. Story of Armin's life.
I love Armin. Don't bash him, sweet boy. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Your phone's even mad at you. Like, hey, he tries.
It was very loud. I don't know why I have a 4:30 alarm, but I have not turned it off. So then let's see. Whoa, Armin. Armin's gonna beat up an alley. Eren sees it and runs to go fight him. And these guys are like, yeah, let's beat up Eren. But Mikasa is running behind them like a full-fledged serial killer creep-looking thing, the way they animate her running. And they automatically are like, no, Mikasa's with them. Run, 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 because she can beat all of them up. And Eren's cocky, thinking, yeah, they got one look at me and they're running off. And Armin's like, well, maybe one of y'all. And in the manga, they straight up say, no, they're scared of Mikasa.
They said that in the dub, or in the sub, too.
Oh, well, in the dub, Armin goes, well, they're scared of one of you, but doesn't outright say, no, they're scared of Mikasa. So Armin's under the belief that mankind's future is beyond the walls, similar to how Eren is, and says, it's sad what folks will settle for some fleeting chance of security. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, because Armin's mind flip-flops a little bit. The wind suddenly stops and it gets real quiet, and then all of a sudden there's this huge lightning strike right outside the wall, and it's like a giant boom and everything rattles like an earthquake. And then wham bam, a giant or colossal Titan is looking over the wall, and that's the iconic hand thing that we see, and then his head pops up. This Titan has no skin. It is just like muscles and bones, and you're like, okay. So he doesn't look like the other Titans, and he's over 50 meters tall, which none of the other Titans that we've seen have. So that's terrifying. What are you doing?
I don't know if I should say this joke or not, because I don't want you to
spoilery?
get mad at me.
Oh no.
No.
What?
I was gonna say, boom, it's cold in here. There must be some.
Alright, so we're continuing on. So this Titan's knee is in the wall, and it's about to, like, bust a hole through it. And then it does. He, like, busts a hole through the wall. He's just, like, straight up, like, knee kicks it, and
he made a poor lady and her bread blow away.
Yeah, like, so
sad.
Just gusts of wind, like,
bread.
I didn't even see the bread. I like that you caught
I just
that.
said poor bread lady. My first note was poor bread lady.
Oh, that just reminds me of, like, the marketplace in Beauty and the Beast, and she's like, Marie, the baguettes! Hurry up! And she's, like, getting blown across the town.
Marie will never get baguettes again.
R.I.P. Marie and her baguettes. So, to take away from that fun moment, we see Rubble just absolutely crushing people. We see a child cut in half and bloodied, and her, like, the child's parent, like, sobbing there. In the manga it was an adult, but in the anime it's clearly a child. And we're just watching people get squished. So now the Titans are walking through the hole in the wall, and Aaron's like, oh no, all that debris, it landed near my house. And so they're running, Mikasa and Armin are like, let's run away from this, and Aaron runs towards it, because he's gonna go run towards his house, because his mom's home alone. He's like, he's running to his house, and he's saying, like, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be normal, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be normal, and then he sees his house has a giant rock on it, it's been crushed, and his mom is trapped in the rubble of their house, and her bottom half is, like, squished. A blondish Titan is walking right towards them. Aaron's mom, Carla, tells them that, you know, her legs have been crushed, and because they're trying to raise the beams of the house off of her, and she's like, even if you get me out, I can't run. You know that you need to leave me. Aaron's saying no, and the most heartbreaking part is when his mom just yells at him to shut up. Will you listen to me for once? Go and save yourself. And then she looks at Mikasa and is like, I made you promise. Do it. Do it to take care of him. So in this moment, Hanus sees what's going up and runs up, and you think it's going to be this hero moment. He's like, I'm going to take down the Titan, pulls out his, like, sword, and is getting ready to use his ODM gear, which is this omnidirectional mobility device that lets him, like, swing up on metal, like, wires and go up and, you know, like, zoom around.
Yeah.
And right in the midst of that, he kind of panics and sees how big the Titan is and freaks out, turns back around. Meanwhile, Aaron's mom, Carla, is like, no, just grab the kids and run, So he turns back around, scoops up Aaron and Mikasa, and runs, and Carla is like, thank you. And you can see that she's trying to be so selfless because she wants her kids to survive, but she's also human. And this is the worst part. She covers her mouth to muffle her fear and says, don't leave me, because in the end she does want to live, but she knows logically it's not possible. They will all go down if they stop for her, so she has to put that aside for a moment, but you can see how scared she really is, and that's the part that broke me, was her saying, don't leave me, but muffling it so they can't hear.
Even worse.
Oh, what?
The Japanese voice actor for Carla Yeager is Yoshino Takamori, and she is Trisha Elric. in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Stop
So
it
I'm
right
sitting
now.
here watching this, and I'm just like, oh, the ultimate mom.
That is so
Why?
wrong. That is so
It was
wrong.
messed up, and you can hear it. You can
cannot
hear the
cast
similarity.
a mom,
It
the
was
same
messed
voice
up.
actress that has the same two tragic endings. Like, that's
Messed
wrong. Whoever was the casting director, shame on you. Shame on you and your family and your cow.
Shame on you. Dishonor on your family. I'm
Dishonor
gonna watch
on your
that after
cow.
this.
Love Mulan. And so she yells at them to stay alive. And this is another asterisk moment. Remember this for season 3. A blondish titan grabs her, straight up breaks her back, and then eats her. But they doesn't just like plop her into her mouth. Bites her in half, so blood spews everywhere in front of Eren and them as they're running. And Eren watches the whole thing. Mikasa turns away to not see it, and Eren just can't turn away. Beep, beep. And that's how that first episode ends. So we get end credits. It's a very peaceful song for such a grisly show. I'm not a big fan of the song.
It's a very meh song.
Yeah.
It's not a bad song. It just, I don't know, it's not a good song.
But I like the graphics because it's all about Mikasa, and
Graphics are
it's her running around and knives surrounding her, and blood, and it shows Mikasa growing up and becoming a soldier. She's still wearing this scarf. It shows birds flying, and then it shows Eren growing up too and also becoming a soldier, which all those will make sense in the future. There's an after credit scene, and it's just showing more of Shiganshina crumbling, and it says the ominous quote, because these Japanese anime shows like ominous quotes in their end credits. All that's left of any value is revenge. Beep, beep, beep.
Are you ready for the mountain of voice actors you just entered?
Give it to me.
Okay, so again, I didn't write down every single voice actor because that would have taken me 80 years and I had an emotional breakdown. So I wrote down the important ones. And if the other people live and come back, I will tell you about them later. Start off strong with your boy, Eren Yeager. His English voice actor's name is Bryce Peppenbrook. He has one of those voices you can literally pick out anywhere.
Yeah.
I've seen him in so many things, including this horrible video game that my husband really loved. And I knew it was him immediately, and it made me instantly hate his character. No offense. Bryce, you're a very good voice actor. But he plays Kirito in Sword Art Online. Of course, Inosuke Hashibara. I feel like that's more correct, in Demon Slayer. But my personal favorite is he plays my favorite character in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Caesar Zeppeli, in Battle Tendency. You died too soon, and we love you so much.
R.I.P., I guess.
Yes, R.I.P. Caesar. And then his Japanese voice actor is Yuki Kaji, and he plays ya boy, Shoto Todoroki, in My Hero Academia, and Meliodas in Seven Deadly Sins. And he's also Kina in Beastars. I don't know who that is, but Meliodas is the main character of Seven Deadly Sins. So there you go. And then Mikasa. Her English voice actor is Trina. Is this the English one? Yeah, I guess. Trina Nishimuro, and she plays your girl, or my girl, I guess, Lanfan in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Lanfan!
She also plays, sorry, my everything got to be too much for a second. She plays Mizune and Soul Eater and Mari in Evangelion. And then her Japanese voice actor is Yui Ishikawa. She plays Violet Evergarden in Violet Evergarden, which is an award-winning anime. She won a voice acting award for it. She's very good. And she also plays Rookie Red Blood Cell in Cells at Work. And then we've got Armin. I don't know how to say his last name. Is it Arlett?
Armin Arlett. Armin Arlett. Maybe.
Okay. He's played by Josh Grell, who has been in just about everything, but he is Tokoyami Fumikage in My Hero Academia, Demon King Satan in The Devil's a Part-Timer, and my personal favorite, Yuri Katsuki in Yuri on Ice, main Yuri. We love him, so gay. Yes. Then his Japanese voice actor is a girl.
Oh.
And it is, I thought it was Alphonse for a hot minute. It's not Alphonse. I was a little disappointed. But her name is Marina. That's probably why I thought Armin was a girl for such a long time.
Yeah, I also thought Armin was a girl for a while.
But she played Elda in The Gray Man, Yoko Leoner in Gurren Lagann, Momo Yaoyorozu in My Hero Academia, Momo, and Mei in Jujutsu Kaisen. Then we've got Carla Yeager. Her voice actor is Jessica, or her English voice actor is Jessica Calvello, and she also plays Zoe Hanji in Attack on Titan. So look for her in the future.
Hanji! I love Hanji.
And then, of course, her tragic Japanese voice actor, Yoshino Takamori, plays Trisha Elric in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Then we've got Grisha Yeager. He played, his English voice actor is Chris Hurry, and he plays Bacchus in Fairy Tail and Yashuino in Tokyo Ghoul. It's Yashuinori. I'm sorry. I read that too quickly. My bad. And then his Japanese voice actor is Hiroshi Tsuchida, and he plays Capote in One Piece, Fumiya in K-On!, which is an excellent, adorable show. We might need that as a palate cleanser after all the evil. And Daminoto Kira in Black Clover, and there's one more. Did I not put it on here? Ezreal in Fairy Tail. And then I've got Mr. Hanus. His English voice actor is David Wald, and he plays young Coach Yukai in Haiku. Adam in Skate Infinity. I love Adam. He's such trash. And he's actually the voiceover director for the case study of Vanitas, which is a new Funimation anime that just came out, and it's absolutely excellent. And I just thought that was really cool, and he deserved some credit for that because it's a really good show. And then his Japanese voice actor is Kenji Fujiwara, and he plays... I forgot about this. This is why I immediately loved him. He plays Holland in Eureka 7. Love me some Holland. Then he plays Axel in Kingdom Hearts, Lirino in Hunter x Hunter, so big character, and Maze Hughes in the original Full Metal Alchemist run.
But so is he not the same Maze Hughes in Brotherhood?
No, they're different voice actors.
Oh.
And that's it. There were no fun facts for this episode because it was, in fact, not very fun at all.
In fact, it was not.
So I'm just going to give you the Funimation summary of episode 2. That day, the fall of Shingashina. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Part 2, baby. It says, after the Titans break through the wall, the citizens of Shingashina must run for their lives. Those that do not make it to safety find a harsh life waiting for them.
That's pretty good.
And then it also says, however, but that it was very misplaced, so I left that off. But then I thought I'd tell you about it.
However. Alright, well let's get to that however. Alright, so the episode first dives in on when we see Titans and like the history of them that we know of so far. They first appeared 200 years ago. Giant brute strength of Titans eating people. People were almost extinct overnight. Those who survived hid behind walls. Maria, Rose, and Cena. Typing it is different. And they lived in frightened huddles for centuries of uneasy peace. until now. And then the intro plays in, and you're like, meh, okay. So we start the episode with blood and squished bodies everywhere, and a crow is eating the bodies, and it's like, all right. Like I said, birds are a really big part of this show.
My first note was demon bird. Massive.
Not wrong. So
Birds
Titans... Titans are roaming around the city and people are hiding. A guy is walking around and quoting their scripture or philosophies. He's one of the gate people. They go more into detail about those people later in the series. And this lady is running away from a Titan and is cornered in an alley, and a Titan literally picks her up like by her head and eats her.
So sorry.
It sounds like
I
a
don't know
person
what's wrong with
yelling.
Steve.
It's so
Steve
weird.
wants to be a Titan too.
No, Steve, you're too small. Unless you put him in his beautiful Scouts Regiment outfit.
I tried to get it on him, but he wasn't having it today.
That's rude.
I know. I said we could match, and he just looked at me like...
That's funny. So we're watching people just get snatched, eaten, and completely devastated by Titans. Story of the show. And Hanus is still running with Eren and Mikasa. Eren hits Hanus in the head and saying that they could have saved her being his mom. And Hanus throws Eren like across the street, like yelling at him, telling him to stop. Mikasa runs after him. And Hanus says there's nothing they could have done for him because he's a kid and he's weak. And he says that he is worse, though, because when push came to shove, he was too frightened to hold his own ground because he's a coward. Mind you, these people have never lived to see a Titan. I do not blame Hanus at all. I also would be freaked out.
I actually really respect how honest he was with this child, who definitely needed someone to be honest with him in that moment.
Exactly.
Literally the worst thing that a child can ever see happen to their
And
parents.
just telling him, don't feel guilty, there's nothing you could do, you're a kid. And also there's nothing I could do because I'm terrified. And that's not a bad excuse because I would also be terrified.
Sometimes you just get scared.
Yeah.
It's okay to be scared.
It's human. So Mikasa gets a headache and has visions of a bloody incident that we don't know about yet. And she's like, this is happening again. What does that mean? We'll find out later. Hanus keeps dragging them along, and people are now jumping onto these giant ferries they have that go further into the walls, and moving to the next wall for safety. Which I think is Wall Rose. Yeah, I think Cena's the middle. Yeah. So outlier districts, which is what Shinganshina is. It is like a little.
It's like a gate town, right?
Yeah. So, like a little pimple on your face, that is what Shinganshina is. So, let me find... Here is a lovely map. Nope, there it is.
Nope.
I can see it.
Yes.
Okay.
We can see it.
So, there... Alright, well...
Here, hold it, and I describe. So it's a big circle, and the circle has like 4 little pimple protrusions, right? Shinganshina is one of the pimple protrusions that has a gate that lets you into the outer wall.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
That was really difficult.
Little gate pimple. We need to stop comparing things to pimples.
No, I purposefully chose that word because I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But it is a pimple gate. So I thought I had another close up image of Shinganshina being an outlier district, but basically it's just a little arch circle around there. They give it to it. They do at one point give it to you because they talk about it. Some of these are out of order from how the show shows it. But basically, it's so that the Titans go towards that area and not towards all the walls so they can more likely be able to, like, take down a Titan because they're coming to a more concentrated area. Does it feel safe to live in there? No. Do people live in there? Yeah. So... I mean, that's kind of the politics of the show. There's hierarchies. The further into the walls you get, the richer people are, the further outside the wall, like, towards the outside you are, the poorer you are. Because, you're kind of dispensable, I think is a word they could say that they do.
Well, they've definitely proved that they are
Yeah.
dispensable.
And they definitely proved that because, I guess that's the only photo. Maybe I'm reading the second one right now, so maybe they do it in the second.
It worked. It's fine.
Yeah, so they're those little outer circles on the wall. So Shiganshina jets out like thorns on the outside of Wall Maria. Their basic function is to streamline troop dispersion and keep costs down. Their single flaw is they only have one gate that citizens can retreat further into. So everybody in that wall is going to try and go through one tiny little hole, and it's just going to bottleneck. And it was never an issue until this need arose right now. So Armin is on the ferry with his grandpa and sees Eren and Mikasa. Nope, Mikasa. See, look, Mikasa. Did it. Mikasa.
Sorry.
I always, I tried so hard to train myself last night when looking at my notes. They look shocked and shell-shocked, and Armin's grandpa says not to call out right now because they need space, and he goes, God only knows what they've just seen. That's also a moral of this show. Soldiers are quickly shooting cannons at the Titans that have gotten in through the hole and are trying to load on the ferry as quickly as possible. People aren't allowed to bring anything because they want to have as much room for people. It's very Titanic-ish right now. Eren and Mikasa are on the ferry. People are fighting to get on, but the ferry is full. People are trying to jump on when the ferry is going down the tunnel in the water, and they're falling. And then all of a sudden, there's another big bang and shake outside the wall. No, inside the wall. Inside the wall. The inner gate starts closing so that Titans don't go through and pass this wall and that there's some safety. Hanus is mad because he says they're just leaving people to die. They say they don't have enough resources anyway. Hanus is like, that's not your decision to make. None of that is in the manga, by the way. That this whole closing the gate is, but the whole talk of resources and famine and all that, not in there. So another crazy looking Titan shows up, but it showed up inside the wall and you don't see it go in, but it doesn't look like the other Titans. And you're like, what? And all of a sudden it starts beelining, like sprinting towards the wall on the inside. And you're like, uh-oh. So remember, they're in their outlier district, and this is all happening inside that outlier district. They're trying to go through this little hole in the wall to go further into the circle, and now this little feller here is about to sprint through that, and so if he goes through there, that means there's a hole on the outside wall where Titans are coming in, and then they're going to go inside that next hole, and then this whole outlier circle, because you remember it looks like a bullseye, is now going to be compromised, because Titans can go in those holes, and it's not like they can move rocks big enough, fast enough to block the hole. So this dude starts sprinting, and he's got like, looks like bones on the outside of him. He's very muscular, like muscly looking, not like looking like a normal Titan. Looks kind of like that other giant Titan we saw, but he's got like bone plates on him, almost like he's armored. And so they start firing cannons at him, and it does absolutely nothing because of those bone plates he has on the outside of him. They keep yelling to shut the gate now. They shut the gate now, but the armored Titan runs and punches and busts a hole through the wall, straight through it, and like does this epic looking slide thing that I really enjoy. And now the whole circle, outer circle of Wall Maria is compromised because Titans now have a streamlined way in. Mm-hmm. And then after he does that, the Titan, this is a little asterisk, remember this? Titan opens his mouth like almost like mechanically and like lets out a bunch of steam, and you're like, what is happening?
I'm not gonna lie, the first time I watched it, I definitely thought he was breathing fire, and I was like, he's a dragon.
I also thought he was a dragon, because he just goes, yeah, and you're like,
yeah, I just thought he was a dragon.
He looks like the dragon.
What a shocking surprise.
He looks like the dragon that you see like videos of when people go to Harry Potter World. And the dragon that's on top of Gringotts, and he just goes and shoots out fire. Have you seen that video?
I have not.
Oh, well, it's really cool. It makes me want to go do it.
I'll look it up.
So that's not great. Now there's only 2 sections of their little habitat of humanity that are safe because the outer ring is no longer safe. And so you've just got Wall Rose and Wall Cena. John Cena. Okay. I'm gonna remember it now because I said that. Anyway, I think then we get a mid-credits card, again, not translated. I think they're talking about the resources that are available in certain districts, and that certain districts have more of them, kind of Hunger Games-ish looking. It looks like a bunch of rich people are starting to argue about if these... we go to a new scene. And we're at a table, and it looks like a bunch of, like, aristocrats. Gosh, that movie has really ruined me for saying that word correctly. Aristocrats are arguing about if these Titan rumors of Shinganshina are true. And they say refugees are coming in like plague rats. So that shows you what they think of people, outlier districts, and, what I was saying about tiered. And they think that Walmaria is strong enough to hold, but then as soon as they say that, a guy bursts in the room and is like, there's a hole in Walmaria, it's been broken through, it's compromised. And they're like, beam, and we pan away. We'll get into that more in season 3. I think we really address the politics of end of season 2, season 3. We'll end up addressing more of the politics of Attack on Titan. So Eren is regretting that he was always such a brat to his mom and why he always fought with her. He said he never said he loved her and has regrets about that. That crushed me. And it made me think of the POG song from when I was a kid, like, if I'd known it was the last day of my life, I would have kissed my mama goodbye. Whatever. Shout out to you 90s kids. It was like one of those songs that came out right after Columbine when all those, Yeah,
I know. I feel
we are, youth of the nation. Anyway, POD, shout out to you. He says, Eren says it's because he's a kid and he's weak and all of them are cowards. Eren's sobbing, and this is an important asterisk. He says he'll kill all the Titans. Every last one, as he's looking off into the distance. Now, Eren's going to tell you this like 5 trillion times, but it's just a thing to remember.
But he means it.
He's
serious.
This is the first time we hear Eren say it.
Every time.
The government says that all mankind...
But I'm not.
He's not.
He really thinks he can do this.
This is literally a motto.
Probably shouldn't think he can do this.
Shout out to everybody watching season 4. The government says that all mankind is to retreat behind Wall Rose. Eren's dad, we get a cutscene of Eren's dad, like on his little cart and horse buggy, racing back and saying, I hope they're alive. Bad news about Carla, though, man. So, they're now trying to get rations and stuff. They're refugees further inside this wall, and Eren's asleep. Constantly, we see Eren taking naps in this first season.
He's tired. I get it.
Wonder why.
Me too.
Eren's now having a dream. It's like a fire, and then his dad saying, wake up, stay with me. And then we see visions of a needle, and he's saying, let me go, Dad, let me go. And his dad says, you cannot forget the key. You must reach it. You must get to the truth. And you have to, so we see the key that his dad left with. And then we see Eren getting stabbed by a needle and injected with something. Remember, his dad was a doctor. But then Eren wakes up. So we assume maybe that's a dream. That's a dream. But yeah. So Mikasa is watching him and waking up, and Eren says he was dreaming. Yeah, Mikasa, come on.
She's creepy, man.
She gets really cool later on in the show, but she starts out as real creepy.
Always hella creepy, and she has the most milquetoast personality out of any.
She has great hairstyles, though.
Beautiful hair.
Yes, she is milquetoast. I will not disagree with that. She could have been so much cooler.
She could have been a contender.
She could have... whatever. But suddenly Eren wakes up, but he's wearing a key around his neck. oh, it's the key that his dad had. But that was just a dream, right? Because his dad left with the key. We saw that. His dad left with the key to go 2 cities over.
Came back.
It's not like we saw him come back. Yeah, they were just napping because they're asleep in this other district.
Alive?
Yeah, what happened to Grisha Yeager? Anyway, so Aaron's like, why am I wearing this key? Thinks about it for a solid 2 seconds, a typical boy fashion, and then just tucks it in his shirt and doesn't think twice about, how did I wake up with this key when my dad left with it like 2 days ago, and I didn't have it, and now I have it, but I didn't see my dad other than in my dream. Anyway, so we're just gonna ignore that for like seasons. That drives me crazy. I was like, what does this key mean?
They just work on other important things. It's there. They address it.
It's season 2 or 3.
Okay, they address it before then. They bring
that Aaron has the key
later. Yeah, but that we'll get into it.
But we don't even see how.
We don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah. Okay. Lauren and I will argue about this off camera because it's confusing. It is the Attack on Titan.
It's also been a long time.
It has.
We've watched this.
And I don't blame anyone for getting confused with Attack on Titan timelines. I'm sorry. My cat is on the top of her cat tree shoving her head through the blinds. And it's not going to end well. I don't know. Peggy, what are you trying to grab, babe?
She wants the burbs.
The burbs.
She wants the burbs.
Oh my gosh. So that's Aaron's dream. A little blonde girl's getting rations and they're fighting over food because of the shortage. That little blonde girl we might meet later, but we see this blonde girl with her hair in a bun. Armin has some bread for them because his grandpa said he has kids, which I think is really sweet because I bet Armin's grandpa said he has kids because he knows that, you know, Aaron and Mikasa really probably need that help because, I mean, he clearly didn't see Carla get on the boat with them. Yeah, and so I've heard some people argue about Armin's grandpa, but we only see Armin's grandpa for like these 3 episodes. But I think it was
tried
good.
His best.
Yeah,
and
leave Armin's grandpa alone.
The government for what happens to Armin's grandpa. So
yes.
sad.
Yes, and we'll get to that. Is it this episode?
I think it's this episode.
I think it is. Yeah. So they all get some food. Armin has everyone already dealing. Oh, what? Oh, Armin says that everyone's already dealing with this famine, and now they've got all these refugees. And so the further in you go, it's the haves and the have-nots. Basically, it's rich versus poor. There's this soldier saying that they should eat so they can get fat and feed them to the Titans, and all these refugees should be kept in cages. Let's just take a beat right there, Texans.
Not so howdy now. Huh?
So this soldier, Aaron's being Aaron. Aaron's mad and goes and just like straight up kicks the soldier in the shins. Soldier in the shin. That's a hard one. Soldier in the shin. Soldier in the shin. Soldier in the shin.
Soldier in the shin. Ooh, soldier in the shin.
Soldier in the shin and Shinganshina.
Soldier in the shin and Shinganshina. Hey,
that's a new tongue twister for everybody. So
stab the soldier in the shin in Shinganshina.
Well, he doesn't stab
or shoot him. Well, you could.
All right, Lauren.
Well, you could.
Anyway, Aaron just kicks him in the shin. And then this guy's about to beat the crap out of Aaron. And then Armin negotiates saying that he's just acting out of hunger. And then Armin's really good with words, basically. And you'll see this more in the show. Armin is very intelligent.
Sorry, we're just helpless children, and he makes a scene so everyone has to watch the soldier be
Aaron is like their moral compass for some reason.
Is
and
he?
They follow him. He is. I don't know why he is, but he is their moral compass.
Is he a moral compass, or is he just like the
He's
leader?
their opinionated leader compass. They follow what Aaron does.
I don't know if he's very moral.
He's not our morals. He's Aaron's morals, and they just follow Aaron's moral compass. Okay. Mikasa is the brawn, the muscle, and Armin is the brain that follows Aaron. That does not always mean you're using your brain, but anyway.
They do it out of love.
They're your main trio.
Yeah.
And so Armin and Eren are arguing now over leaving past the wall, and he's saying he doesn't want to scrape by on the charity of cowards. He isn't a parasite. This is Eren yelling. And Mikasa is just like fed up with it and just like yeet punches Eren and knocks him down on the ground, like almost KOs him.
Because Eren
is insulting Armin.
Yes, that's something crappy. I don't remember what it was.
He calls him a parasite. He calls him a parasite.
I guessed. Oh, he doesn't. He says something freaking mean to him in Japanese. I don't remember what it was. Like, he called him a name, like a really bad one.
Well, he calls him a parasite in the dub. I love that Mikasa.
I have to go back and look.
Mikasa is always a good protector. Like, we know she protects Eren, but Armin is like her chosen. Like, Mikasa protects Eren out of like duty to him because we'll find out later. Well,
and love, whatever kind of love it is, there's affection between them.
Yeah, ish.
It's not just duty,
but duty. Armin is like her chosen friend, and she wants to protect Armin because he's so innocent and dear to her, and I love that. So Mikasa punches Eren and says, we're all parasites and cowards. We can't find our food on our own, and Titans are the top of the food chain, and they must do what they have to do to stay alive. Yes. Note for if you're gonna watch the end of season 4 part 2, there's a hooded man behind them listening to this conversation. Yes, this show will pull an obscure detail like that 5 years later and reference it. So just make a note there that there's a hooded man in the background. Listen, you know, when you watch animated shows, you can always tell
Don't give those away. Don't give those away. Those are more fun when they're surprises later.
Okay.
Don't give those away.
You know, in animated shows where you can always tell what door they're coming through because it looks different when they're drawn. This dude looks different too. But he also looks like they're, what'd you say, the background characters when they have the messed up faces. The
derp guys.
He's got a derp face. Because I don't think they knew anything. But the manga, I don't know. Anyway, Mikasa said she didn't promise his mom to be brave just to stay alive, and she forces like this bread into Eren's mouth. Is like, you're gonna eat and you're gonna stay alive, and I don't care what your opinions are about it. So refugees are put to work to plow land to get food, but the cold hard ground was providing nothing. So the year later, 846 of the remaining refugees were tasked with reclaiming Wall Maria. Basically, they're sent out to go and fight Titans, even though they have no training in it, and they're just sent to die, basically, because they don't have enough resources to feed. Out of the 250... so the year later is 846, right? Yeah, because we're in 845. Mm-hmm. So they sent 250,000 people, nearly 20% of the population of refugees, and only 200 made it back. Armin loses his grandpa, and it's a really sad scene because Armin's grandpa's leaving and gives him his iconic little farmer's hat. Because Armin's grandpa's a farmer, not a fighter. And
he's an old man.
I know. Like, he's a grandpa!
So messed up.
And he doesn't make it back. So Armin has that little hat. And I'm like, poor
such babies. A bummer.
I know. Eren says they have to stop them, the Titans, or else this world will never feel like their own. Eren says that next year they'll join the cadets and they're going to get strong enough to fight back. Armin says he'll join too. Mika says join so she can protect Eren and keep her from dying. Okay, so this is the moral of this show. Eren says he's going to do something. Armin says, yeah, me too, because that's very valid points. And Mikasa says, well, someone has to save y'all, so I guess I'm joining. This happens multiple times, so just remember that. Like we said, that's the dynamic of that group. The three join cadets and begin training. Then after credits, they're all struggling and we meet new characters. And the ominous throat, when you're floored by fundamentals, all the heart means nothing. Beep, beep, beep.
Wow. I have one voice actor for this episode, but I don't remember if this character is introduced in this episode or if it's in the next episode. Keith Sadie's. Is he the next episode? Or did you see him at the end of this episode?
Who's Keith?
He's the drill sergeant.
Next episode.
Okay, then we're gonna save that. Fun facts. So the priest guy, like the crazy priest guy who's talking when the Titans are coming in.
It gets a little snacky.
He's stupid. He's actually reciting lines from the Divine Comedy or Dante's Inferno.
Oh, so that's cool. Fun.
So I don't know if that ties into anything or if the writer just really likes the Divine Comedy.
You know, I mean, Dante's Inferno really is post-apocalyptic. Well, it's the circles of hell. So he's saying these are the circles of hell. That makes sense. I like that. That's fun. If you don't know, you won't catch that. Yeah.
And there are 3 little cameos of future important characters. So Annie Lionheart?
Lionheart. She's the blonde girl that was getting bread.
You can see her there, and then you can see Rainer.
They say Raina. They say Raina, but it's spelled Reiner. So
Rainer. Well, Raina and Berthold are also there. They're seen in the announcement for the mission to take the wall with shocked expressions. And these are only in the anime. They're not in the manga. I don't know why they added them. I guess just because.
This whole next episode is not in the manga, so I get that.
Love it. We love that. And here's your Episode 3 Funimation summary. Episode 3, A Dim Light Amid Despair. Humanity's Comeback. Part 1. All of these episode names are so long.
They are.
It's like a Panic at the Disco song.
This is not Humanity's Comeback, let me tell you.
It's not. Well, that's why it's Part 1.
Good point.
Aaron begins his training with the Cadet Corps, but questions about his painful past overwhelm him. When he struggles with maneuvering experience, Berthold and Raina offer kindly advice. That is that.
Alright, that's not horrible. Alright.
No.
It's not spoilers.
Funimation does much better.
You're not getting much spoilers anyway in these first 4 episodes, other than like Aaron's mom. Cool. So here we are. Like I said, this isn't in the manga. In the manga, we see them in training for like 2 seconds, and then it's a flashback of, you know, some of the things the Titans have done, and then some of how the ODM gear works, and then we cut to the end of episode 4 pretty quickly. So this is episode 3, and this is not in the manga. But I really liked this episode because it made me more attached to our main characters we're about to meet, that we stay with for the whole show. Because you just get a page of them and their descriptions in the manga. So, all the newbies are getting yelled at, and they get intimidated, and through that intimidation, through stress and degradation, right? Degradation.
Yes,
that word.
That is word.
They get turned into blank slates, and they can be restructured. Classic military tactic.
Huzzah.
Hate it. So it's been 2 years since the Titan attack now, and we meet sweet little Connie. Connie is one of my favorite characters ever. I love Connie and Sasha. Connie and Sasha
are fantastic characters.
When we see them doing the knife sparring, they're my absolute favorite. I have that photo. When he's got the knife in his mouth.
They're stupid, and I love them
and
so
Keith
much.
And Keith just walks over and grabs Connie by the ears. I love Connie and Sasha. Yeah, I love Connie and Sasha. Anyway, Connie is a Dumbo with the biggest heart, and he does the salute backwards. So the drill sergeant's like, do you not know where your heart is, you idiot? Because you're supposed to dedicate your heart, and so you put your hand over your heart. And guess what? Connie doesn't know where his heart is. So we meet Sasha. Sasha is eating a potato while at attention, getting yelled at.
I love her.
And they refer to her as Potato Girl. like for this whole series. And whenever I couldn't remember Sasha's name, I was always like, Potato Girl.
My
And
favorite quote from almost any anime ever is, "Are you asking me why people eat potatoes, sir?"
So that's this part, and it's amazing, and it sums up Sasha so perfectly.
Yeah.
She is smart.
I love her so much.
She has great reaction. She's obsessed with food to the point she will murder you for a steak.
She's a sneaky lady too.
She is. She's great. She's stealth 101. So the drill sergeant drops Connie because he's like holding Connie by the head, like, you idiot, and then sees Sasha eating a potato, and then walks towards her and is like, "What are you doing?" And Sasha's eating a steak potato because it was sitting in the mess hall and begging to be eaten, she said. She said she's eating now because it looked quite delicious and it was getting cold, so she gave it shelter in her stomach. And so the drill sergeant's just like, does not understand why she would do this. She knows she's going to get in trouble. And so he asks, like, "No, I know you're eating why are you eating a potato?" And so she goes, "Sir, are you asking me why people eat potatoes? I'm surprised you don't know, sir." And so she smiles, splits the potato in half, and then offers him.
Not even.
Yeah, it's like a quarter.
The worst half I've ever seen.
She says she splits it in half, but it's like the split in half you split with your younger sibling and they get the smaller half. She offers the drill sergeant the smaller half and says, like, "You want some?" And so she is tasked with running until the sun sets. And so they're all watching her run, and Connie was like, I think she was more upset that she lost her meal privileges. She wasn't upset about running. It was that when they cut her meal privileges, that's when they realized that's how you punish Sasha. So that's your introduction to her, and she is a genuine peach in this show. I love Sasha.
She is excellent.
Yes. So dropouts that don't make it are forced to work in the fields, and so we meet this little group of trainees, and they all ask Aaron at the mess hall. We spend a lot of time in the mess hall when they're gossiping. It feels like a summer camp, basically, when we have this episode. And they're asking Aaron about seeing the Colossal Titan. Aaron describes the Colossal Titan as having no skin, just muscles, and they call the other one, officially, the Armor Titan, the one that had the bone plates that I talked about. They ask how it was, and Aaron sees a flashback of his mom getting eaten, and it looks like he's about to be sick. And then he says he's gonna join the scout regiment and is sending the Titans back to hell, which is, I really love. I did not realize that was Dante's Inferno, and that is like my favorite little fun fact nugget now, because they refer to hell and Titans all the time, so that's great. So an older brown-headed guy says he's just bragging and that the reconnaissance is a death sentence and they're about to fight, so him and Aaron are about to fight and brawl in the mess hall, and then they say apologies, they slap hands. The guy, so Mikasa like grabs Aaron and is like, "You're just mouthing off again," and drags him out, and this guy immediately no, she doesn't grab him here. Aaron leaves and Mikasa follows, and then this dude immediately becomes infatuated with Mikasa and stutters trying to talk to her and says, "You have really beautiful black hair," and Mikasa just deadpan goes, "Thank you," and then turns and leaves.
And then this stone cold bee cuts her hair that night and comes back just like,
No. Here's why she does it. Because I hate her. Because Aaron tells Mikasa that she shouldn't worry about him and that she should worry about cutting her hair because it's too long. And she just goes, "Okay." And I was like, no! Why would you just cut your beautiful hair? So he's all mad that she's all worried about him. He's like, "You should worry about your hair. You shouldn't have hair like that in the military, and you should cut it." And she just goes, "Okay." And so she goes home and cuts it.
I honestly think the biggest reason that I struggle to watch this sometimes is because of Mikasa, because she's so
like, I know they have a reason, they explain why, but I hate that reason, and she's very Mary Sue. Like, if I don't like using that term, it's really a lot of people use it, and it's not accurate. It's pretty accurate with this chick. I hate it. Yeah. So Sasha finally finishes running, and then a blonde girl, what's her name? Krista. I need to change. I have her listed as another name.
You do have her listed as another name.
Lauren, are you like drawing something?
Yes.
Stop. It's so loud.
I'm just going and
I can hear it.
Good.
It sounds like you're carving. So then this blonde girl, Krista, sneaks Sasha some bread and water, and it makes me laugh so hard because Sasha like darts across the screen with like red eyes like a demon because that's how much she loves food and she's starving. And another brown-headed girl's like, "Why are you being kind?" Her name is Ymir, right?
Ymir.
And then that's her only name, right?
Yes.
They don't tell you her name, but I was like typing this and I knew her name and I was like, I had the other name wrong. Because Krista, whatever. Yes. And then says whatever and helps Sasha back inside. Krista says, "Why are you being kind? You're helping her back inside." She says, "I'm not being kind. She's making use of her stupidity and that this chick's gonna owe me one and I can pull that favor in later." And I was like, it's not a bad idea. So now they're all training on the ODM gear. Mikasa is the only one like acing it and can balance and do everything on it. Meanwhile, Aaron's dangling upside down and can't figure it out. He looks like a dummy. Mikasa and Armin are trying to help coach Aaron. Yeah, that's very true. And trying to coach Aaron on how to use the ODM gear. But Aaron slams his head in the ground and can't keep balance. So now he's got this big old wound. He's like concussed. And we pan over because they've dragged him to the mess hall and he's sitting at the table and has a bandage on his head. For a split second, his wound is steaming and it's very weird looking. But there's like steam, smoke coming out of the bandage on his head. And he's kind of out of it and it looks like he's blank eyes staring off into space. We could say this is because of a concussion. But why is that steaming?
Kids, don't hit your head or else you might get concussed and steam everywhere.
Yeah, that's the moral of that story. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
Not for any reason that we might address in later episodes. Mikasa tells him it's time to give up the soldier dream, but it's not up to him whether or not he's fit to be a soldier. She tells him, but he's already left. Mikasa's like giving this long speech and looking forward, and he's already left. And in the background, it's kind of blurred who's sitting next to her, but we can see it's not Aaron. And tells him that wherever he goes, she will go too, so he won't return to the fields alone. And she looks over, and it's Sasha asking if she's going to finish her bread, and I love this little moment, because Mikasa then looks and is like, I just said that, and Aaron's not even here, and then fakes offering Sasha her bread, and then immediately shoves it in her mouth and eats it. I was like, that was beautiful. I loved it. Alright, so Aaron learns that Berthold and Reina are like the best on the ODM gear, and so him and Armin go over and ask Berthold and Reina if they can teach him how to use it and get balance. They ask if they are both from Shiganshina, and why would they? Berthold and Reiner ask if they're both from Shiganshina and ask why would they be a soldier if they've seen what they can do, what the Titans can do firsthand. And they, Berthold and Reiner say they're from a mountain village outside of Walmaria and that they were some of the few survivors because they were first to be attacked by the Titans. And it's just really important to know that they say that's where they're from. Berthold says he wants to work on the inside as a military police, and Reiner says... just want to say this so everybody can clearly remember it. Reina says he wants to return from the home taken from him, and he will do it no matter what. Remember that.
That's it.
For not season 1. Okay, so Aaron tells them that he's decided to kill all the Titans and won't stop until he does. Remember when we said that Aaron loves to say that? Here you go. He'll say it 5 trillion more times. Reina tells Aaron he knows what it takes and that he's got it inside of him and he won't fail. Okay. That's all we'll say about that. Aaron keeps his balance. So they're doing the ODM things again. He trained with Berthold and Reina. We don't see it. We just know that they do it. And then he's doing his test exam the next day. He's keeping his balance, but then last minute he flips and falls and hits his head again. And you're like, oh, bruh. And Eren then exchanges belts with another guy, and we learn that his clasp was broken the whole time, so that he was able to balance still with faulty gear, and so that he was technically really, really good, and I hate that. And so then in his...
So annoying. It's such
so dumb.
a main character trope, just like, whoa, look what he did.
He was able to do it with broken gear. He's actually really good.
God.
Yeah, I hate it. And in his head, he says, check it out, Mikasa. You don't have to worry about it anymore. That's not true. So Mikasa says his eyes are saying, you don't have to leave me anymore. Because he thought they were going to, like, separate, but Mikasa was not going to leave him.
She needs to stop.
Lauren, you're in for a long season.
I know.
The drill sergeant, Keith is what you said? Yeah. Says, Grisha, Eren's dad, today should bring you pride. Your son is a soldier. But, like, we don't know that Eren's dad's dead, so I thought that was a weird comment. I also am not trying to be, like, omniscient about that, because I genuinely have a hard time remembering what comes after these 4 episodes, because it's been a minute. So Eren's now swinging around on ODM gear like Spider-Man. And then that's how the episode ends. After credits, you can see they're graduating. Eren's gonna fight Annie. Sasha steals more food, and the quote is, "We can beat the Titans. The moment we feel certain of this, humanity is given a grim reminder." Oh look, that's that quote. That's where I was trying to find it. It was at the end of this episode.
There you go.
Here it is. There it is. It lied.
It chose the wrong episode.
Classic.
Oh, all right. Here's your never-ending sea of voice actors.
Never-ending sea of voice actors.
First, I've got our boy, our angry Joel Sargent, Keith Sadie's. His English voice actor is Patrick Seitz, who plays Dracula in Castlevania. So,
okay,
main guy, kind of
right.
important. Inji Todoroki, or Endeavor, in My Hero Academia. And your girl's main boy, Dio Brando, in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh.
I know, I love it. And then the Japanese voice actor is Sugo Magami, and he plays Mr. Compress in My Hero Academia.
Okay.
And also General Pepper in Star Fox, the video game. Super fun. We love that.
Oh, I know that one.
Then we have Jean...
Jean
names too. Jean Krishrikachin, whatever.
All right.
Jean. He's annoying. We hate him. Jean K. Let's go Bachelor rules and just do last initials. So his English voice actor is Mike McFarland. He plays Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Z, which was the biggest mind blow for me. I was like, what the heck? And he also plays Argo in Dr. Stone. His Japanese voice actor is Kishino Taniyama, and he plays Zen Yodina in Shaman King, who's like the main Spectre samurai dude. Dope. In the new Shaman King, not the old one. Huh. And he plays Garashi Tono in Boruto, the Next Generation, and he also plays the villain Ending in My Hero Academia, and that's the guy that catches Natsuo Todoroki on the bridge with his bike.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Then we have Raina Braun. His English voice actor is Robert McCullum. He plays Julius Trono in Black Clover. Sorry, that got me for a second. He plays Hiroki Takata in Codebreaker, and he plays Scar's brother in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh.
Then his Japanese voice actor didn't have anything, so I just left it blank. I couldn't find anything that was important. Then we have Connie Springer. He's played by Clifford Chapin, who is oh my gosh, why did Will send me this one of all of the ones? This is horrible. will help me with my notes because I had a mental breakdown. Keep that in mind. I said, don't choose really hard names. Stick to popular animes, please. Chose really hard name. That's okay. It's Kawaru in Neon Genesis Evangelion. So there you go. He also, most popular, probably Katsuki Bakugo in My Hero Academia. And he's going to be in the new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but he hasn't announced which character he's playing yet. And I'm so upset because I'm so excited. His Japanese voice actor is Hiro Shimomo, and he plays Dabi in My Hero Academia.
Ooh.
Rindo Hatani in Tokyo Revengers, which is one of the main guys, and Zenitsu Agasuna in Demon Slayer, which is really great. And you can definitely hear it. It's my favorite thing.
Who is that? Who is that who plays it? Who's that? What character is Zenitsu? What character in this show is
Connie.
Dang it. I thought you said Connie and I was up. Dang it. Alright.
It really fits his character.
It does. But I like Connie a lot more than I like Zenitsu. But
well, I love Zenitsu, so then Sasha. I hope that was really good in the microphone.
Legit like a fart.
Good. Everyone, that was a real fart for my Bridget.
Unless you're watching and you can clearly see Lauren's tongue out.
You can't see nothing. That was real. That was real frustration.
Alright, okay. give me Sasha.
So her English voice actor is Ashley Birch, and she plays Mairui in Steins Gate Zero. And I put this in because I didn't know what this character was, but I loved the name and the name of the anime. She plays Freckles in, wait for it, Space Dandy.
Nope.
Don't you want to watch that? I do not. Immediately.
I do not.
Hilarious. Her Japanese voice actor is Yu Kobayashi, and she plays Black Maria in One Piece, Neo and Dorohedoro, which is a dope anime. It's on Netflix. Everyone watch it. And Decora in Food Wars, the fourth plate, which is the fourth season. We love some Food Wars. Lauren loves Food Wars. Bridget will.
I was like, I don't know.
That's okay. And then we have Berthold Hoover.
Berthold.
I love his name. I couldn't say his name right. It was Berthold. Hard. Berthold.
I think they say it different in the show too, but Berthold.
They do.
Berthold.
It's hard.
Berthold.
Berthold Hoover. His English voice actor is David Matragana. But David, right. I'm sorry, David. He is. And I feel so bad because I've actually seen him at a panel. I should know who this is. He's very, very nice and super funny. He plays Shoto Todoroki in My Hero Academia.
Shoto!
And he's so funny and so nice. Love him. Side panel. When I was in Seattle for Comic-Con, gosh, what did it... He said something. He was making a weird joke at the panel. Him and Clifford just kept jiving off each other, and he said something about Shoto's obsession with Bakugo, and I was like, gay. And he heard me from the audience, and he looked at me and went, just a shrug. And I was like, don't look at me! And I also laughed really obnoxiously at one of his jokes, and I was the only person that laughed, and he told me thank you. So,
aww.
You're welcome, David. Please forgive me for saying your name.
You're welcome, and so sorry Lauren doesn't know your name.
But I know your name is David, and you were nice.
Alright, keep going, Lauren. Keep going.
Okay, Shoto Todoroki in My Hero Academia. He plays Ritsu in Assassination Classroom. And he plays Kendaichi in Haikyuu, which is a really good character. I love him. He's on the Abu Josai team. That's all you need to know. He's Underhead, Kendaichi. Oh. His Japanese voice actor didn't have many credits, so I skipped it because I still have 2 more. Oh, I forgot to get a mirror. Remind me to do that. in our next episode.
Well, she's not named yet, and so you're okay.
True. Okay, I don't feel that bad. Then I have Krista Lenz. Her English voice actor is Brian April. She plays Melody in Fairy Tale, Ritsu in Assassination Classroom. No, she doesn't play Ritsu in Assassination Classroom. David does. I don't know what happened there. By accident.
What?
Whatever. And she plays a random character in My Hero who I don't know. It's Ibra Shinozaki. I couldn't figure out who that was. So if you know, great. She plays that character. Her Japanese voice actor hasn't really done anything, so nothing. And then I've got Marco Board. His English voice actor is Austin Tyndall. He plays Rin Matsuwa in Free, who's the main character, one of the main characters. And then he also plays Nito Monoma, everyone's favorite little jerkhead in My Hero Academia. And his Japanese voice actor, which is also my only fun fact for this entire episode. His name is Ryota Aseka, and he plays Kenji Akashi in Haiku, who's one of my favorite characters. He's a setter. He is the setter for my absolute favorite character in Haiku, Bokuto. Yeah,
setting. I'm setting. It looks really creepy with this background.
It does.
I'm missing fingers.
But he's only done that, and then just a freak ton of hentai, which was weird because these two characters are the most like timid, level-headed humans ever, and then just porn. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So much porn?
All right.
Anyway.
Also,
episode 4.
You forgot to say that Jean is Jean in Full Metal. He plays Jean in this show is Jean in Full Metal Alchemist. It's the English voice actor. I just saw it on Pinterest, and they're like, "Look," and I was like, "Oh, look!"
That's it
was some joke, but it was spoilery, so I I don't even think I saved it. But Jean is Jean. Jean Jingleheimer Shingan Shina.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Here's your Funimation summary for the night of the closing ceremony, Humanity's Comeback, Part 2. Also alive.
So long.
Whatever.
Oh my
gosh. Annie proves her skill in the sparring session. And then Jan. I think this meant Sean.
I think that's Sean.
Freaking Will sent me
Jan!
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 Jean dreams of serving alongside the king, and graduation day brings a shocking revelation along with a sudden outbreak of violence. Bum, bum, bum.
That's actually not too spoilery, but a good tease.
No, it's not that bad.
I like that.
It's not that bad.
Alright, here we go with Jan. I like that I just talked about him too. That it turned. So it's Ji-John Jan.
I'm just gonna call him Jan from now on. I really like that for him. He's probably my least favorite character
Jan.
in the show. So
you could use the Brady Bunch.
Okay, Jan.
Okay, Jan. All right, so here we go. They're hiking in the forest in the. Aaron.
So well.
Okay, Jan.
Aaron.
So they're hiking in the forest in the rain.
Sorry.
Armin's struggling to carry his baggage, but they say they'll leave him behind if he can't. Rhina grabs Armin's bag and says, like, I'll carry it. I don't know why Rhina's being nice. I'm going to have some internal conflicts that I can't talk about until later seasons. But, so then Armin grabs his bag and says, he's no one's burden, and snatches it back and then carries it on himself. So they're practicing with ODM gear and cutting nape of fake wooden titan necks in the forest. And Keith goes over all the characters. So this is, in the manga, they have this as just like a panel, like this whole 2 episodes were just like one panel, and they introduce all the characters and what they're good at. So Berthold is mild-mannered but smart. Jan, is he says a smartass with a temper, but the top of the class in ODM gear. Annie is brilliant with a sword, but doesn't play well with others. But I love Annie. Sasha has unusually fine instincts, but doesn't share them with the others. Connie is great on switchbacks, but a few sandwiches shy of a picnic, is what they said. AKA, Connie's dumb. I love Connie.
He's dumb.
He's so dumb, but he's such a sweetheart.
He's a sweet boy.
Mika says a genius and excels at everything. She's like the perfect soldier. It's because she doesn't use her brain.
Shocker.
She's just a follower. Aaron is lackluster in the classroom and marginally better in the field, but is driven by a sense of purpose that's almost terrifying. So that's them. Oh, and Rhina, they say, is really good. They say it in the beginning when he's helping Armin, and then you lead into that. But they say Rhina is a great soldier. So Aaron and Rhina are now.
Armin's a smart boy.
Yeah. I don't know why. I must have gotten distracted midway through taking notes. They say boy. He's the smartest. Like he's textbook fantastic. So, I think they covered Armin and Rhina in that scene, and then that leads into the other scene. So I must have forgotten to write it before they started listing him.
That's okay. They make such a big deal about him being a smart boy.
He is very smart, and he's good with his words when he can talk.
We stand.
We stand-ish. I stand him later in the show. Kind of. So Aaron and Rhina are sparring back at the compound with wooden knives, like little wooden daggers. Why? We don't know. Aaron has a flashback when holding the knife all of a sudden, and it's that bloody scene that we kind of saw Mikasa have that flashback, but we don't know anything about it. Rhina tells Aaron that the soldiers are ready for anything, and that's why they're sparring. He points out Annie, and Aaron thinks she's slacking off. So Rhina tells him that he should give her a talking to. I love this. So Rhina confronts Annie, and it kind of gets in her face, and Aaron glares at him. Aaron thinks she's terrifying. She kind of is terrifying, but in the best intimidating way. And then Rhina shoves Aaron over to fight. Annie quickly tucks one leg back and holds up her 2 fists. It's very important that you see that's her fighting stance. She tucks a leg back, holds up her 2 fists like this. That's Annie's classic fighting stance. Just remember that for no good reason. So she trips Aaron, sweeps his leg out from under him and hurts his ankle. And then Annie takes up the wooden dagger and then flips Aaron over on his neck, like on his back neck, and then tosses the dagger to Rhina, and she challenges Rhina. So Ryan says, "Get ready, here I come." And before he can even finish her sentence, Annie's already got him flipped over on his back and neck. And Annie says her father taught her how to fight. She doesn't say it with, pride or anything, almost like she was forced into this life. Annie says only idiots like Aaron take this seriously, and that the better you are at dropping the bad guy and the more distance between the two of you, you put yourself, the better you are. Annie says we're only expected to play the game and not be a pawn. That was a good quote. Cool quote from Annie. She says Aaron, idiots like Aaron take this seriously. He goes, idiots like you, and then whatever those two are. And this is in my first 4 episodes. This is my favorite scene. And then the camera pans over to Connie and Sasha. And Connie's got the knife in his mouth and he's like, ah, and Sasha's like, ah. They're being absolute idiots. And I love it. And if you just heard me making those noises and not the hand gestures I was doing, they're just being absolute dorks, goofing off. And then the sergeant comes over and they just get slapped around by him, and it's a beautiful moment. It just shows their personality. Connie and Sasha are 2 peas in a pod, and I love them.
They are. They share one brain cell between them.
Exactly. 1 brain cell and 1 stomach. It's a really big stomach, though. It's not like they don't eat a lot.
Maybe 5 stomachs.
Yeah, okay. 1 brain cell, 5 stomachs. They're like a cow. Cows might be smarter. So Marco wants the honor to work near the king and be military police. Eren criticizes him, and John says criticizes Marco and John and says their head won't fit in the interior wall anyway. It was a good burn. Everybody starts laughing.
It was a solid burn.
And everybody's like yelling at each other. But if you look, Annie and Rhina are watching really closely what's about to happen, and they're not laughing. Eren says he only has something to prove, and that Eren wants to end things before they get out of hand. So he uses Annie's move and puts Jean on his butt real quick. The commandant comes in asking what the ruckus was, because they all don't want to get in trouble.
Oh my god.
Mikasa, in such a brutal way, says, Sasha passed some gas. And the commandant believes it and says to control herself and then leaves the room. And the whole time Sasha's like, what the heck, man? I didn't fart. It's like the best cover up. It was believable for all of them because how much she eats and how quickly. And it was really funny. I loved that moment. So then we learn that there's 3 regiments. There's the garrison, that they patrol the walls on the inside. That's the rose emblem on their back. There's a scout, goes out into Titan country and takes back what was ours. They have the wings on the emblem, the blue and white wings. That's probably what you see most out of Attack on Titan stuff. And then there's the military police brigade. They maintain law and order under orders from His Royal Majesty, and they have the unicorn emblem on their back. So our little gang has... Yeah, it's got
flowers.
It's a unicorn. That's Walrose.
It's got a unicorn?
The flowers is the garrison, the rose emblem. They have roses.
I thought I'm crazy.
They patrol the walls. Military police has a unicorn. So they've made it to the top of their class. Yep.
Anyone else from New Braunfels? Here we go.
So if you were just listening and not watching, Lauren and I just did her high school hand gesture because she was the unicorns in New Braunfels.
Should I sing my Alma Mater?
Absolutely not. Okay, so they've made it to the top of their class. This little group that we've watched now are the top 10. Jan is mad that Jan is mad that Eren ranked over him. Eren is now raging and ranting again in the mess hall that he's going to be a scout and drive out the Titans and take back what was ours. And then Eren runs off crying. Classic Eren. And then Armin and Mikasa chase after him. Armin says he's going to be joining the scout regiment too, and that he wants to leave the book life behind. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then Mikasa says she's joining too because of the promise that she made his mom, and that where he goes, she goes. It reminds him that she's lost her family too, because Eren's like, no, you don't have to join in, but you don't have to do it just because she's like, I lost my family. I'm going to fight back. It's not all about you. It's like the one time she kind of defends herself, and then we'll never see it again. Commander Irvin of the Scout Regiment is back, and guess what? So is Captain Levi. Fine! We stand Captain Levi forever in this house. Just want to make that very clear.
I'm an Irvin fan.
Well, if you're an Irvin fan, you're a Levi fan, because a Levi fan is an Irvin fan. I mean, they're one and the same.
Yeah, because they are the gayest boys. They're the gayest boys. You can't love one without the other because they love each other so much.
R.I.P. that relationship. I love Levi so much. I love my tea drinking, short, clean king. Alright, here we go. Levi is back and the crowd is talking about how talented he is, and he just like scoffs. Levi doesn't do this for attention. He's just that good. He's just like, whatever, when they're like talking about it. Because he's sassy. And I love him. Alright, so Hanus sees Eren in the gang, and he teases them that he's now in the Corps of Engineers. Hanus says that his mom's death still haunts him, and Eren tells him it's not his fault. Sweet, sweet Hanus. It's been 5 years now since the Titan incident, so people are starting to get a little comfy again. Connie says he's joining the Scouts too, and they're all like, yeah, Eren, your speech last night inspired him, and Connie's like, no, it didn't. It did. Eren swayed a lot of people into joining the Scouts. R.I.P. to some of those people. Sasha stole meat from the officer's pantry. Classic. And she looks like she's drunk and uncontrollable when it comes to food. And I love that that's her personality. She's fighting... Yeah. She's
great.
I mean, it looks like prosciutto, and if that is prosciutto, same. Absolute same. I would do it for prosciutto. She's fighting to take back, she wants to be scouts and take back room for livestock. And now they're all, like, fighting for a slice of meat on a sandwich. Sasha, like, hides their meat away in their... R.I.P. to that meat, that box of their hidden
R.I.P.
goods.
that meat, man.
R.I.P. that meat. Because
the real tragedy of this show.
The real tragedy is they're all like, I want a sandwich. Well, if he's getting a sandwich, I want a sandwich. And so Sasha tucks it in this box.
As a person who loves sandwiches, this is deeply pained me. This is...
Why are we saying R.I.P. this meat? Because here we go. Aaron's all hopeful and is like, humanity, we're gonna have a comeback. And then lightning strikes right behind him again. They're on the top of the wall, by the way. That 50-meter wall. They're standing up on the top. And this lightning strikes the ground right behind them. And all of a sudden, the Colossal Titan just appears right in front of them. And because of that, the steam, like what we saw last time, just blows everything away that's near it and, like, is burning them. They're like, oh, it's hot. And R.I.P. that meat. That, most tragically, the top of that wall is destroyed and the box of meat gone. And probably overcooked now. And really sad. And so now they're all blown off the wall. Luckily, they're wearing ODM gear because they're on the top of the wall. And so quickly, they're all having to, like, attach to things. And they're like, swing, hurry, get your gear on. And Samuel got knocked out. This character, Samuel. This is, like, literally the only time we've heard his name.
Just random boy Samuel.
Samuel, not Samuel!
He was like, who the heck is Samuel? And I was like, I don't know, man.
That's the only time.
Not important.
Only time we've met him, only time we get his name. So he's gonna fall off, but Sasha, quick-witted, and also, like, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. She's built to survive. Shoots him with the ODM gear, which is, like, a blade, like, what are those called? That go to the wall.
Like
and
a grappling hook?
Grapple, yeah. So it, like, grapples his leg. She shoots it through his calf and catches him. So he doesn't splat onto the ground. But he also has this giant metal grappling hook thing sticking out through his leg. But she catches him. Yeah, he's alive. Yeah,
that's... he should
be
catches grateful.
Him. So the Titan blows a hole in the wall. Again. Great. And then Aaron says, it's do or die time. and takes out, he's like, we're going to take out the Colossal Titan. So he starts shooting ODM gear, and he starts jumping up to the top of the wall, and he faces the Titan, and he goes, it's been a while. And him and the Colossal Titan are making eye contact. Aaron is the size of maybe the Colossal Titan's pupil. So, real bold of him to be doing this right now.
I mean, for all the idiot that goes into Eren Yeager, there is a very brave boy tucked inside of it.
It is.
And you have to respect that. As
covered by a lot of dumb boy child.
Yeah.
So, that's how that episode ends. And then the after credits, it says, the jaws of hell reopen. Titans are rampaging in. We see the Colossal Titan is just, like, wrecking the wall. He's, like, just sweeping his hand over it and just destroying the bricks. We are seeing cadets getting eaten. We see Armin is, like, sliding down the throat of one of them, it looks like. And then we see Eren all bloody. And then the ominous quote is, sometimes to save the ones closest to you means making the ultimate sacrifice. Bam, bam, bam.
Sad. I only have one voice actor for this. It's Levi, because he literally says probably one word, and I thought I should just give it to you anyway. They said his name, he said one word. Here are your voice actors for Cabs and Levi. So his English voice actor, of course, is Matthew Mercer. He's
Matt Mercer! We stand Matt Mercer! Beautiful, beautiful man. I'm so sad he's married. I love him.
He plays Yusuke Kitagawa in Persona 5, the anime and the video game. Excellent. He plays Lirio in Hunter x Hunter. Super important character. He plays the head Hashira in Demon Slayer. Was it Kaguya?
Oh! I didn't realize that!
Yeah, that's him, the blind one.
Oh!
And then, most popularly, he probably plays Pain in Naruto, who's like a crazy villain, and then, of course, Jotaro Kujo in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's probably the most popular of the JoJos. for good reason.
That's the one TikTok likes. That's the only reason I know it.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in dub only because I love Matt Mercer so much. So,
Matt Mercer,
he's the reason that I watch it.
Has a beautiful voice. He did voices in. I only know this because I love Matt Mercer. He did voices in Sailor Moon. And he's done voices since he was a little kid. And if you watch Critical Role, which my brother's obsessed with, and this is why I know a lot about Matt Mercer, he is their dungeon master, and he does a lot of voices, and he has a smooth voice, and he's got hair about my length, and it's lovely black hair, and he always wears a bunch of rings, and I like rings, and he's just a really pretty man. And Critical Role has their new show, Legends of Vox Machina, that just came out. It's on Amazon Prime. And he's in there, and I love you, Matt Mercer.
I like you too. You're pretty cool. I'm not like in love with you, but I love all your characters.
Be in love, but I also really like your wife. I also really like your wife, so like it's just really cool. I like y'all. I want to meet Matt Mercer and hold his hand.
Anyway, the Japanese voice actor for Levi is Hiroshi Kamiya. He plays Takeda in Haiku. He plays, oh my god, the craziest name I've ever seen. Trafalgar Law in One Piece.
Trafalgar. I feel like I've heard that name before, but don't quote me.
Or Trafalgar. I'm sorry. I put the L in the wrong place. Trafalgar Law. He plays Mephisto in Blue Exorcist, and most recently he was in the Netflix anime show that got nominated for a ton of anime awards. He plays Kochi in Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, which don't watch it unless you're prepared to cry for like 5 hours, because it was amazing. And I have 2 fun facts. Here we go for our fun facts. Because it was a kind of fun episode, but not really. So the ODM gear originally in the manga had 6 places for blades, and then as they went along further, they decided that 4 was better because it made the stakes higher. So they took 2 away.
Yeah, they have a whole page on that.
And then so whenever you see Mr. Hanus in this episode, when it was aired on TV, they actually messed up his logo. When they first show him, he had a Garrison logo, and then they switched to Aaron, they go back to him, and he had a Scout logo, and then they switched back to Aaron, and they switched back, and he had the Garrison logo again. So they have since replaced it, so all of the content has now been changed. It doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, that was it. 6. I can't read that, dude. That's teeny tiny.
It's got 6. But this is
how... in the anime, it's got 4.
In the manga, this is how detailed he actually got with his scientist friend, and all the physics are correct on the ODM gear and everything. Like, he has it all mapped out. Like, it's really cool. Anyway, go ahead.
It's pretty great. Those are my only 2 fun facts. That's it.
Cool.
Continuity errors and gear. Cha. So that's the first 4 episodes of Attack on Titan Season 1.
So the next arc, Lauren, you have it down. Yeah. It's 9 episodes. Do you want to split this up? I think for maybe our sanity's sake, we should split this up.
I do, but I don't, because it's a full arc. And
I know, but at the same time, that's going to be like a 7-hour episode, because we only covered 4, and we're already past 2 hours. And so covering 9 would be insane. And I don't think we even have time to watch 9 episodes this upcoming week.
We don't. I'm a tired person.
So what I propose is doing 3, 3, and 3.
You want to put it in 3 parts?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, okay, we can do that.
Because this first 3, I looked it up. We're gonna have a lot of like battles, but we also are gonna have something else that then we're gonna struggle with for the next 3, and then the next 3 we figured that out and they're confused. So it breaks up kind of nicely. But I think that
Okay.
I know I would love to do it too, but I also know our schedules suck.
I don't love it, but I accept it.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So, this next episode, we will watch episodes 5, 6, and 7. First Battle, The Struggle for Trost, Part 1. Episode 6, The World the Girl Saw, The Struggle for Trost, Part 2. And then, episode 7, Small Blade, The Struggle for Trost, Part 3. And then...
Just so y'all know, the Trost struggle continues until episode 13.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
It is 9 parts of a... When they say struggle, they mean struggle.
They mean struggle.
They be...
It's real struggle.
They need a hand.
Okay, call Moses' mom back. Be like, hey, we need that back. Thank you.
Or another hand. I don't know. They could use another hand. They could use another hand.
What if we just take that hand away instead?
What if... I'm not...
I'm sorry. We need to stop.
I'm gonna spoil something. Alright. Well, we love anime.
And we love you.
And we love you. Bye!
Bye!